The wet scrubbing cleaning method is ideal for heavily soiled floors. It's the ideal cleaning method for periodical cleaning or deep cleaning of all water-resistant hard floors. For example, in sanitary areas, industrial sites, kitchens, and other areas that are suitable for wet scrubbing. We will use the example of cleaning a kitchen floor to demonstrate this method. Kitchen floors often use safety tiles with a rough surface in order to improve slip resistance. This positive feature, however, could turn into a disadvantage if the floor is too heavily soiled. Floors with a lot of greasy dirt are not safe and can cause accidents. Therefore, a daily cleaning regime is essential. For small to medium-sized floor areas, the wet scrubbing cleaning method using a single disc machine is ideal. We need a low-speed single disc machine equipped with a water tank, a scrubbing brush, a cleaning bucket, a degreaser cleaning product with a dosing device, a scrubber tool to clean difficult-to-access areas, a wet vacuum machine, and a warning sign. Here's how this cleaning procedure is carried out. First, remove all loose dirt from the floor. Then, prepare the cleaning solution. Preferably use warm water because temperature is also a cleaning factor. The cleaning solution is distributed over the floor. First, the edges and corners are treated. Then the open areas. In case of heavy soiling, the indirect method should be used. The cleaning solution is left for some minutes on the floor. During that time, the congested areas should be treated with the scrubbing brush. Then the floor should be scrubbed with rotating movements. Finally, the dirty cleaning solution is picked up. Using a wet vacuum machine will ensure excellent cleaning results by making the floor immediately dry. To finish this cleaning process, the equipment and tools should be cleaned. This will also ensure good hygiene levels. If two people work together, it's best if one starts treating the difficult-to-access areas and corners with the kitchen scrubber. Then this person uses the wet vacuum machine to pick up the water on the floor. For more accurate dosing of the cleaning product, an automatic dilution system should be used. A squeegee can be used instead of a wet vacuum machine if enough drains are in the floor. It should be mentioned that the cleaning result is not as good compared to the use of a wet vacuum machine. On safety tiles, the special contact pad will give even better cleaning results. In garages with heavy mineral grease dirt on the floor, a special degreaser for mineral soiling should be used. For wet scrubbing on smooth floors, An abrasive pad should be used. Dry, bright polishes protect a floor, but even they can become worn and unattractive. The thorough removal of old polished layers, called stripping, is therefore necessary from time to time. Depending upon the type of polished layers to be removed, and also and the warm water. After acting, the solution is scrubbed with a single disc machine, and finally wet vacuumed. Stripping can be done on all water-resistant hard floors, like stone, linoleum, PVC, and others. Stripping requires a low-speed, single-disc machine with a water tank, an abrasive pad, a chemical stripping product with a measuring device, a bucket, a manual cleaning tool for corners, a wet vacuum machine, and a suitable wet mopping system, as well as a warning sign. This is how to strip. All loose dirt should first be removed from the floor. Proper product dosing is important. The correct amount of water and stripper must be mixed according to the manufacturer's instructions. As the floor stripper is highly alkaline, protective gloves should be used when preparing the correct dilution. Warm water should be used, since temperature is an additional cleaning factor. The stripping solution is applied to the floor, first along the edges and borders, and then the open area. To prevent the solution from drying, enough solution should be applied. The solution is now allowed to act for approximately 15 to 20 minutes. The stripping solution penetrates into the old polished layers and chemically loosens and dissolves the polish's structure. After the structure is sufficiently broken down, the floor is scrubbed with the single disc machine. This will further enhance the process of breaking down the structure of the old polished layers. If the stripping solution on the floor has dried off already, more water should be released from the water tank. After that, more mechanical action is applied. The coarse pad completely loosens the chemically dissolved polished layers from the floor's surface. The rotating movement of the pad and working in overlapping lanes both aid the stripping process. The residue of the old polished layers in the solution and the solution itself are easily removed with a wet vacuum. The stripping solution, which has been applied along the floor's edges and borders where polish is minimally worn or damaged, and where crusts often form, is now manually scrubbed, and then wet vacuumed. The most efficient way to strip a floor is with two people. As soon as the person operating the single disc machine has scrubbed one lane, the other person wet vacuums it. After scrubbing, the pad is usually very dirty. Immediately clean it with the wet vacuum machine. The water tank is also cleaned and then filled with clean water to rinse the floor. No residue of the alkaline stripper is allowed to remain. Rotating motions are not necessary when rinsing with the machine. Finally, the solution is wet vacuumed again. While the floor is drying, the equipment can be cleaned. The stripping solution can also be applied with the single disc machine. Wet vacuuming can also be carried out using the Fixomat squeegee. In larger areas, it will result in productivity. Stripping ceramic tiles with large amounts of grout and smooth surfaces should be done first with a pad and then with an abrasive brush. If the stripping solution is very well wet vacuumed, it's not necessary to rinse with water. Buffing is meant to restore shine to floors that are protected by floor polishes or other floor maintenance products. It also removes most scuff marks. Used in combination with other floor cleaning methods like waxing, spray cleaning, or wet mopping with floor maintainers. Buffing requires a single disc machine with the right attachment, a pad for smooth floors, and for structured or rough floors, a polishing brush. The steps for buffing are: first, we remove loose dirt particles. Then we take the single disc machine with the correct attachment. When buffing, we first buff along the edges. Then the rest of the area. During buffing, it's important to overlap the buffing lanes. When working backwards from the windows, it's easier to see the buffing performance. A common buffing technique includes using a vacuum unit with a suction skirt. Both have to be attached to the single disc machine. This approach is ideal on structured floors and whenever dust emission needs to be avoided. After the buffing job is done, the mains cord should be put around the machine, and the single disc machine should be cleaned. When using the vacuum unit, the double filter paper bag should be checked regularly. It should be replaced when full, as this would lower the suction performance. Large floor surfaces should be divided into distinct buffing areas. For very high hygiene standards, a HEPA filter can be mounted onto the vacuum unit. Next to the widely used high-speed machines, a 2-speed single-disc machine can also be used for buffing. Adhesive soil on water-resistant smooth flooring can be removed with wet cleaning. But wherever wet cleaning is not possible or desired, or where traffic paths have developed, spray cleaning is recommended. A cleaning or maintenance product is therefore sprayed onto the floor. The removed dirt or scuff marks are then picked up by the pad. The result is attractive. This method is ideal for all smooth, hard floorings like PVC, linoleum, sealed and unsealed wood, and natural and artificial stone. Spray cleaning has 3 important complementary parts. The single disc machine, ranging from 300 to 400 revolutions per minute, and equipped with a spray device. The proper pad, usually of medium abrasiveness. The proper spray cleaning product, selected according to the floor type and the cleaning requirements, which means a product with more or less waxing ingredients. Soiled or worn floors can be cleaned easily. First, remove loose dirt particles. For removing isolated, infrequent traffic marks, partial spray cleaning is recommended. Congested areas also are cleaned effectively with the spray cleaning method. The spray product surfactants and cleaning solvents dissolve dirt and grime, which are then picked up by the cleaning pad. At the same time, the spray's waxes fill and repair damaged areas in the film, while the pad levels and buffs the surface. The procedure should be as follows. The area that we want to clean should be sprayed onto and treated with the machine until the pad has picked up all the dirt. In that way, all spots should be treated with the partial spray cleaning process. Difficult to access areas also can be cleaned in this way. After isolated areas have been repaired, the entire surface is buffed to restore an even, attractive finish. For cleaning the whole floor area, the full spray method is widely used. The spray is applied through the single disc machine by having 2 to 3 lanes of 3 to 4 meter lengths, thereby spraying the product onto the floor. Move the machine in a rotating manner. Continue moving the machine in a rotating manner until the dirt and grime have been picked up by the pad. For large areas, it's important to have enough pads available, as they have to be changed regularly. To finish this operation, the floor should be buffed entirely. At the end of the spray cleaning process, the pads should be cleaned. The single disc should be cleaned as well, especially the spray nozzle. Spray cleaning is ideal wherever wet cleaning or scrubbing are not possible, or where traffic would be disrupted, or where wet cleaning or scrubbing would be detrimental to the floor. An increased cleaning effect can be obtained by using a more abrasive pad. But for the final buffing of the floor, a much finer grained pad should be used. When spray buffing is done frequently, a 2-speed single-disc machine is beneficial. The higher speed during buffing will increase the shine. Spray cleaning is an ideal method to repair floor polish layers. The intervals between time-consuming stripping can be extended considerably. Instead of the side spray nozzle, it is also possible to spray with a center feed. This avoids product being sprayed onto furniture. Adhesive dirt on textile-covered flooring cannot be completely removed by vacuuming. During intermediate cleaning, the carpet fibers must be washed in order to remove the dirt from the individual fibers. The carpet should be wetted as little as possible to avoid long drying times. Dry shampooing meets both these requirements, since an extremely dry foam instead of a wet foam is used. As the foam has a very low humidity level, even more sensitive carpets, like carpets with jute fiber backing, can be dry shampooed. What material is needed? A low-speed single-disc machine equipped with a foam generator, a dry shampoo brush, a carpet shampoo, a bucket, and a floor brush. The dry foam is produced in a specially designed foam generator. The dry foam passes through the center of the brush and is evenly spread and massaged into the carpet by the brush rotating movement. The foam's surfactants encircle the soiled particles and loosen them from the fibers, so they then rise or float to the pile's surface. After drying, the crystallized dirt and shampoo particles are easily removed by brush vacuuming. In practice, loose dirt is first thoroughly removed by vacuuming or brush vacuuming. Visible spots are manually removed. Chewing gum and solvent-soluble spots especially should be removed before shampooing. The machine is now being prepared. Carefully read the manufacturer's instructions for correct product dilution. It is very important that the shampoo is pH neutral, yet high foaming. The foam should be dry and finely porous. The amount of foam and its humidity can be regulated on the foam generator. First, the edges and borders are shampooed. Then the open area is covered in overlapping lanes. The shampoo now can act, and after a short moment, the carpet should be treated again in rotating movements of the machine. The pile's nap should be brushed up while still wet. The carpet will not only dry quicker, but will have a more attractive appearance. Thanks to the low foam humidity, the entire carpet is soon dry. The drying time is dependent upon the intensity of the treatment and the room's temperature and humidity, and is normally around 1 to 3 hours. The dry carpet should now be thoroughly vacuumed, ideally brush vacuumed. Dry shampooing is the perfect intermediate cleaning method for carpets. It cleans deeply, delicately, and dries quickly. A word about machine maintenance. After use, the tank of the foam generator should be cleaned with water. The 2 filters also should be cleaned. The dry shampooing method can also be used to treat only a small area, so the shampoo should be applied directly in rotating movements of the machine. Even though dry shampooing is very easy and safe, it's always better to check the color sensitivity of the carpet fibers. In hygienically sensitive areas where allergens like dust mites may occur, the special dry shampoo product will effectively remove such allergens. Dry shampooing of stairs, walls, or upholstery is possible by using the hand shampooing set. Heavily soiled carpeted floors should be cleaned using a wet cleaning process. Wet shampooing is a well-known method performed with a single disc machine and a water tank. Wet shampooing is an intermediate cleaning method for water-resistant carpets, especially when a spray extraction machine is not available. It can also be used as a pre-treatment on very heavily soiled carpets before a spray extraction method is carried out. The foam is created by the friction at the interface of the brush and the carpet. The shampoo solution flows from the water tank to a special wet shampoo brush. The rotating brush massages the wet foam into the carpet fibers. The foam's surfactants encircle the soiled particles and loosen them from the fibers. Then they are wet vacuumed together with the dirty solution. Wet shampooing requires the following material: a single disc machine with water tank and a shampoo reduction valve, a wet shampoo brush, a wet vacuum machine, a separate piece of carpet, a carpet shampoo product with dosing device, a bucket, and a carpet brush. In practice, loose dirt is first thoroughly removed by vacuuming or brush vacuuming. Visible spots are manually removed. Chewing gum and solvent-soluble spots should be removed before shampooing. The machine is now being prepared. Carefully read the manufacturer's instructions for the correct product dilution. On the separate piece of carpet, the single disc machine is run until the shampoo quality is right. Only when the foam is fine enough can the carpet be shampooed. First, the edges are shampooed. Then the open area is treated in overlapping lanes. Shampoo around 3 foam. The shampoo solution then has to be wet vacuumed immediately. This is most effective when done by a second person. To use the wet vacuum machine, an anti-foaming product should be added right at the front of the suction hose. While the carpet fibers are still wet, they should be treated with a carpet brush. This will speed up drying time and enhance the visual impression of the carpet. The drying time depends on the intensity of the treatment, room temperature, and humidity. It will take between 8 and 24 hours. The dry carpet should now be thoroughly vacuumed, ideally brush vacuumed. After use, the equipment should be cleaned, especially the water tank and the shampoo brush, by flushing with clean water. To reduce the drying time, sufficient air circulation is important. Marble is a soft stone. Due to traffic, marble floors become worn and lose their natural shine. Grinding with diamonds restores such floors efficiently and also removes scratches. Marble grinding is very often done before crystallization. The method requires a heavyweight, low-speed, single-disc machine with a water tank, a special drive disc, diamond grinding pads ranging from rough to fine grain on their carrier disc, a wet vacuum machine, a bucket, and a warning sign. Also recommended are a gloss measurement device and a timer. Remove loose dirt first. If heavily soiled or wax layers are still on the marble, then a stripping process should be carried out. Before actually starting the marble grinding process, all areas that should not be treated, like walls, furniture, and doors, have to be covered. Now we take colored pens or taps to mark deep scratches. Then scratches which are less deep. Next, the right grinding pad has to be selected. For deep scratches, we have to start with the roughest diamond pad. If the scratches are not very deep, we can start using a less rough one. Once a certain diamond pad has been chosen, the marble floor has to be grinded step by step with all the following less rough diamond pads. This is how the grinding should be performed. Fill the water tank with clean water. Before starting the machine, the floor should be wetted well. Then the marble floor should be ground per square meter for approximately 2 to 3 minutes. In between, the results can be checked by using the window squeegee. Once the initial scratches cannot be seen anymore, the soiled water is vacuumed. And the next set of grinding diamonds are used. The exercise is repeated with all the successive grinding pads. After each grinding step, the water has to be wet vacuumed thoroughly. The grinding pads also should be cleaned immediately. Finally, the whole marble floor should be flushed with water. This will remove all particles of the grinding process. Wet vacuum. Then the floor is ready for the next treatment, for example, crystallization. Now the protected areas can be uncovered. All equipment should always be cleaned properly afterwards. Never grind when the floor is dry. when changing to the next, finer diamond pad. The grinded area should be enlarged. This will give a smoother transition to neighboring areas. Followed by a crystallization method, the floor is well protected and will be more resistant to wear. Crystallization means the chemical-mechanical treatment of natural stone containing calcium. The main type of flooring in this category is marble. The marble floor surface is hardened by crystallization and becomes shiny. As only stone containing calcium can be crystallized, a proper check should be done first. If the floor foams when using an acidic product, the floor can be crystallized. The method of spray crystallization is performed when a periodical treatment is needed to eliminate traffic lanes or when wet crystallization is not possible. The following is needed: a heavyweight, low-speed, single-disc machine with a spray device, a drive disc, enough crystallization pads, a liquid spray product, and a warning sign. A gloss measurement device also is helpful. Remove loose dirt from the floor. If heavy dirt or wax layers are still on the marble floor, the floor should be stripped. Deep scratches in the floor should first be removed by a grinding method. Before starting the crystallization procedure, all other areas, like walls, furniture, and doors, should be covered. As certain types of marble react differently during crystallization, it is recommended to first crystallize a test area and to monitor the result using a gloss measurement device. The floor should be treated area by area. That means around 1 square meter at a time. Spray a small amount of product onto the floor and move the machine over it until the floor shines. Depending on the marble type, this will take between 4 and 6 minutes. Each area will be treated in this way. We also should not forget to turn and also to change the crystallization pad at the right intervals. A second crystallization process will further enhance the floor protection and the shine. After the crystallization, all residues should be thoroughly removed by wet cleaning. Now the protected areas can be uncovered. Finally, the spray device should be flushed using a cleaning product. The machine should also be cleaned. It is important that the marble floor is dry before starting the spray crystallization method. Otherwise, it will result in less shine on the floor. Steel wool pads perform well on every type of marble. On certain types of marble, vinyl crystallization pads also can be used. Finishing the procedure by buffing the floor with a buffing pad will further increase the shine. Crystallization means the chemical-mechanical treatment of natural stone containing calcium, such as marble. The marble floor surface is hardened by crystallization and becomes shiny. As only stone containing calcium can be crystallized, a proper check should be done first. If the floor foams when using an acidic product, the floor can be crystallized. Wet crystallization is the ideal method if high shine and high slip resistance are required. Needed are a low-speed single-disc machine with water tank, a drive disc, a fine bright vinyl pad, a wet crystallization product with a dosing device, a suitable wet mopping system, a wet vacuum machine, an edge cleaning tool, and a warning sign. Also recommended are a gloss measurement device and a timer. This is the way it should be done. Remove loose dirt from the floor. If heavy dirt or wax layers are still on the marble floor, then the floor should be stripped. Deep scratches in the floor should be removed first, using a grinding method. Before starting the crystallization procedure, all other areas like walls, furniture, and doors should be covered. As certain types of marble react differently during crystallization, it is recommended first to crystallize a test area and to monitor the result using a gloss measurement device. Mix the product according to the manufacturer's instructions. As the product is very aggressive, the recommended safety precautions must be followed. Then wet the floor well. Apply the product solution on the area that you want to treat first. The crystallization procedure should be performed step by step. That means areas of around 3 to 4 square meters at a time. Massage the solution in with the single disc machine. This should take around 3 to 4 minutes per square meter. Then flush the crystallized area with plenty of water. This will stop the crystallization process. A second person should immediately pick up the solution with a wet vacuum machine. In this way, the marble floor is crystallized step by step. Do not forget to first wet the area well that is to be treated next. When the whole floor has been crystallized, the floor should be flushed with plenty of water, using the single disc machine with a clean pad or a brush. Now the protected areas can be uncovered. The marble floor will give a very high, elegant shine and is now easier to maintain. Finally, the equipment should be cleaned and well maintained. For successful wet crystallization, the following points should be remembered. Only treat areas that have been wetted well. Before wet vacuuming, ensure that the area is wet enough. Corners and difficult to access areas are treated with the edge cleaning tool.